Hello and welcome to Yoga with Glenn. I'm Glenn. Welcome to your holiday restorative yoga flow. Please hop in some comfy clothes, hop on your mat, and let's get started. To begin, grab a bolster or pillow and blocks if you have them. If you don't have blocks, just grab some books, something you can prop up your bolster or pillow, and something like this. And then if you have a blanket you would like to use, just set it up against the end of the bolster. Bring your hips to the end of the bolster on the blanket and just let yourself recline onto this bolster. Bring the feet together, let the knees kind of splay out wide. Open the heart space, let the arms just rest on either side. You may close your eyes if you like. And this is a nice heart opening pose, just kind of get us started with this restorative flow today. And from here we can establish a breath. So exhaling, letting everything go, really pulling that belly button in towards the spine. Inhaling from the belly, moving the air up from the belly to the chest, and then exhale, chest all the way down to the belly. A full inhale and exhale, belly, ribs, chest. Full breath. If you can, without thinking about it too much, try to keep a full or a steady rhythm with your breath throughout this practice, especially if you're in kind of a tight spot. Nothing painful, but maybe something feels just a little tight, needs to be stretched. Really focusing on the breath will carry you through the posture. Starting this restorative flow out with a heart opening pose. It's good just to kind of establish the mood of this, opening yourself up to this holiday season, opening yourself up to love, and just letting things come at you as they may. Also, a lot of times when we sit, maybe our chest isn't as open as we'd like it to be. It's just a good way to make sure the heart space is open, really opening yourself up. Same thing with the hips. If you're in a place with this posture and maybe the hips aren't quite comfortable here, you can try moving the heels closer or farther away to you or from you, sort of adjusting this posture as you need it. And we'll be here for just a couple more breaths before we transition into our next posture. If your mind starts to wander, you can always come back to that breath. After your next exhale, as you inhale, slowly gather up the knees, placing the hand underneath the knee, and slowly bring the knees back in, the soles of the feet on the mat. Nice and easy, bring them to touch. And then to remove ourselves from the bolster. We don't want to sit straight up right away, so we'll just roll off to the side. It's a more gentle way of getting off of our prop, especially because we're in this recline position. And we're going to flip ourselves around eventually, coming to this sort of pseudo table posture for now, and from here you can adjust your props. So I'm going to take my blanket nice and wide on the mat, setting ourselves up for a supported child's pose. Bring the bolster or pillow, whatever you have, flat on the ground. And an option to use these blocks or books if you have to rest the hands on. So we're going to bring our bolster all the way in between our legs, laying yourself down over top of it. And if your torso's not quite long enough and your head can rest on the bolster, just turn a cheek so you can rest your head. And I'll let you know when we're about halfway through so you can turn the other cheek. And if your torso is long enough to where your head is hanging off of this bolster, I recommend grabbing a block and setting it underneath the forehead, either on kind of the number 2 position or the number 1 position, depending on how much you're hanging off this bolster. If you need to make any adjustments as far as width goes on your blanket, like I need to, just to make things more comfortable, adding comfort can always be done. If you'd like to rest your hands on the blocks like this, you may do so, or if you'd like to rest your hands on the ground, or just kind of stack the shoulder and the elbow, whatever's most comfortable to you. And of course, breathing. That our belly is against something. As you inhale, you may feel the air kind of move to a different space throughout the body. As I inhale through the lower belly, the air kind of moves and gets pressed against the low back and almost gives the low back a little bit of a massage. But take note of where the air is now compared to when you're laying on your back. Just see what it does for you. We've about reached the halfway point now. If you'd like, you can turn to the other side just to make things even if your head is resting against the bolster. If your torso is long enough and your head is off the bolster, just stay where you're at. Another couple breaths here. If your mind starts to wander too far, you just bring the thought back to the breath. And after your next exhale, as you inhale, slowly begin to bring the hands down under the shoulders. We're going to very slowly press ourselves up sort of into a table posture, bringing the legs back in. Kind of set the bolster off to one side for now, and I'm going to use my blanket for some comfort on my knees. But we're going into a hero's pose, and you can stay facing long way on your mat, but I'm going to face you coming into this hero's pose, and from here we're going to do some side bends, but we're going to be kind of holding the posture, not as long as we were in the first two postures, but just long enough to feel the effect. So inhale, circle the arms up, touch the palms overhead, go ahead and drop one arm on the bolster here, maybe even come down to the forearm, but really focusing on this opposite side, bringing length through the side body here. You can arc the arm overhead if that's more comfortable for you. Bring the body forward, further back. Finding a comfortable spot, but most importantly, bringing length through the side body here. You can look up at the hand if you like. Relax the eyes closed if you like. Play around with the position of the armpit, either bringing the armpit or shoulder further back or further forward, whatever feels best for you, but breathing here in this side bend. If something doesn't just quite feel right, you can, of course, adjust position where the bolster's at. Just a couple breaths here, and after you exhale, inhale, coming back up to the top, resetting, bringing the bolster to the opposite side or pillow or whatever you were leaning on the first side. And we'll inhale again, circling the arms up, touching the palms overhead, and then we'll drop one side again, the opposite side, and then finding length through the opposite side body. Same things apply. You can move the arm or shoulder forward. You can bring it back, lean more, lean less, whatever's most comfortable for you. Just focusing on that breath. As long as you're feeling length through the side body. And after your next exhale, as you inhale, come back up, drop the arm. You can bring yourself off of your props and down onto the bottom. Removing the props off to the side for now. Scooting a little bit forward on your mat, and we're going to slowly roll onto our back. And set yourself up so you're centered on your mat. Make any adjustments you need to. Straighten the legs out, point the toes up for now, and then bend the right leg, place the sole of the right foot on the ground, and then float that foot off the ground, grab the knee, bring that knee in towards the chest. Kind of reset, bring the knee back up, sort of facing the sky, and then bring the knee into the armpit, off to the side, and then release and slowly pass it across the body, coming into this kind of supine twist. Bring the arms out to a T, or if you like, you can do what I'm doing, just kind of just resting the arm against the leg here, not to really force it over, but to just give a little bit of gentle persuasion. And you're really feeling the twist here through the side, through the glute, up through the side body. Trying to keep the opposite shoulder on the ground if you're able to. And of course, breathing. And again, since this is a twist, we won't be here as long, but just long enough to feel the effect of the posture. And after your next exhale, as you inhale, bring the knee back up to center, pass it over to your opposite side. Bring it into the chest one more time, and then slowly release. Sole the foot on the ground, and then slide the heel forward, bringing it next to the opposite foot. And then same thing, opposite side. Slide the left heel up, placing the sole of the foot on the ground. Float that foot and then grab a hold of that knee, bring it into the chest. Release, kind of bring that knee back up to the center, and then bring it over, kind of bring it up towards the armpit. And then release, and then pass it over to the opposite side. Coming into that same twist, just on the opposite side now. Arms come out to a T. Remember the option you have to just sort of rest your arm against the leg, trying to keep this opposite shoulder on the ground, and then feeling that twist all the way through the glute and the side body. And of course, breathing into the belly. And after your next exhale, as you inhale, go ahead and pass the knee back up to the center. Bring it into the chest one last time, and then release slowly, placing the sole of the foot on the ground. And then sliding that heel forward till it's next to the opposite foot. We're going to set ourselves up for our Shavasana here. If you'd like any props under the knees, under the hips, under the back of the head, you may set yourself up as you like. Palms facing the sky, letting the feet fall outward, letting the body relax. And for this practice, I recommend placing one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest. And as you breathe in through the belly, up through the ribs, into the heart space, you can feel the progression of the breath. And as you exhale, you'll feel the chest kind of fall. As you breathe all the way out, you'll feel the belly fall. This way you can be a little bit more in tune with your body, feeling the breath all the way through. Of course, you don't have to do this, but it's nice to just kind of feel the breath, be a little bit closer to yourself. As we settle into our Shavasana and relaxing the entire body from the feet to the top of the head.
Making sure you're not holding any tension anywhere. Anything that can be relaxed is relaxed. Being completely at ease. Wherever you are, lost in thought, release that thought and return to the breath. Gentle inhale, feel the belly rise. Easy exhale, feel the belly fall. Slowly start to bring awareness back to the body. Invite small movements, starting with the fingers, the toes, eventually rolling the wrists and ankles and inviting the movements to grow until you've sort of awakened your body. And then when you're ready, extend the arms overhead, point the toes for a full body stretch. Returning the arms back down to the side. Eventually bending one knee, placing the sole of the foot off on the ground, and then slowly pressing off that foot, rolling over to your side. Using your arm as a pillow, coming into this recovery posture. We don't want to just rise up out of our corpse pose or shavasana. We want to bring ourselves back a little slowly. Take a couple breaths here, and then when you're ready, and only when you're ready, press yourself up into Sukhasana, an easy cross-legged seat. If you'd like to sit on a prop just to raise the hips up a little bit, you can, but we won't be here that long. Placing the hands on the knees in whatever mudra you prefer. And we'll close out this practice together. Just want to say thank you for joining me. I hope you're feeling nice and restored, ready for this holiday season. Let's take one last breath together. Circle the arms up. Touch the palms overhead and bring the hands down to heart center. Thank you so much for joining me. The light in me sees the light in you. Namaste.